Hey there, crew. It's Mark from Men Who Bullet. Thanks for hanging out with me today as I set up my weekly plan with me inside of my B5 Archer and Olive notebook. Really excited for this week. I just got a monster haul of stationery in the mail. Stuff from Eric Small Things. I got a bunch of stuff, other stuff from Cute Things from Japan just as a whole. We've got our Archer and Olive delivery. I also got a surprise delivery from Stuck On Creations. It was an awesome week, and I'm excited for this week coming up as well as we set everything up. So if you are new to the plan with me, here's how we handle the show, and this is all very much evolving, and I'm very excited about it. Just a bit of background. A follower recently referred to my style as minimal twist, and I'm rolling with this moving forward, just as a heads up. So we have a minimalist approach with a twist. That's how I like to plan. I love that. So what we're going to do is we're going to plan out our entire page for our weekly, and then we'll hit the twist. And the twist is when we start to add in some stamps and some other fun things. So we'll keep it very simple to start, talking mostly about how we're laying out our page and why we're laying out our page the way we are. And then when we hit that twist, I'm going to introduce you to all of the fun and excitement that we're going to include today. So first things first, I want to just kind of do a review of last week. So last week was the first time that I did this reflection and focus on this week in my weekly. As I mentioned last week, I've been taking the Bullet Journal Basics and Beyond course through bulletjournal.com, and writer talked about how a weekly spread isn't just about what's coming up, but it's also a great time to reflect on what happened that previous week. So I'll be doing that again this weekend, setting up space, and I'll be continuously evolving that. I think it's going to look different as we go through with things, but that's how the week will look, and then we'll set up the rest in here, doing things a little bit differently this week. So first things first, let's talk about what this page is going to look like this week. I'm going to be using my Rocketbook again now that I've got it all cleaned out and ready to go. So let's go ahead and talk about the layout. So the way that I'm going to do it this week is still a double page spread. I feel like every week is going to say that. This B5 just screams, hey, we've got a lot of space, let's use it, but let's use it efficiently. So I really liked last week in having that calendar up here in the top. So I'm going to keep that up here. Now, last week I only had 5 days during the week, but this week I'm actually going to include all 7. So we're going to use a space over here and create that. I was looking back through my week just to pull out some just good memories and things to see what's going on. And there wasn't really anything that happened on Thursday. So I actually might combine Thursday and Friday into one and just make it a full Friday because we had a lot that happened. So excited about that. Then for this upcoming week, the way that I'm going to do this is I'm actually going to split this out into kind of 2 sides. We are going to use 3 squares or rectangles on each side of the pages here on the left. And then we're going to do the same exact thing over here on the right-hand side. And then I'm going to use this spot right here for our notes throughout the week to kind of get them going. These boxes are going to be pretty large. We'll talk about spacing in just a hot second, but this will cover me basically Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then we'll do a Saturday and a Sunday split. It's kind of crazy now that I have to think about Saturdays and Sundays, but now that the girls have started all of their activities during the week, Saturdays and Sundays are pretty busy now. So that's how we're going to roll moving forward. So really excited about the setup here and how we do that. So the spacing for this week, I had to change things up just a little bit from my normal spacing guide. So I have my entire B5 spacing cheat sheet in the back of my journal that I always keep here. For the most part, we're following things kind of closely, but honestly, I've just kind of spaced things out based off of this calendar here. So to start out, I went ahead and counted over 14 squares, and that's going to give us the space basically from here to here. So that's going to be the total width of these squares here, and then this calendar fits up here in the top really nicely. Now to create 6 rows going down a page, they would have to be 7 squares, but I've decided to save myself a little bit of space, and each one of these is going to be 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and there's another one up here for 7. It's just a general sketch of what's happening here, but there'll be 5 going all the way down here. And I'm going to combine 2 of them for that Friday because there was a lot that went on. So that'll end up being 10, but for the general sketch, I'll do everything in pencil anyway so you can see it. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to skip 2 spaces here. And then that leaves the rest of the space here. And that's actually going to be 17. So it's a little bit different than what we would usually do here, where we would have 16 split the page evenly, or I would do 15 with 2 spaces and another 15. So it's kind of like combining these here to give us the space. And that's why I was saying this is going to be a lot of space going across here, but I think it's going to look really nice. Now I did follow my cheat sheet back here for the 3 rows. So these are going to be 14 squares top to bottom with 2 in between all the way down. So that'll find a normal path here. So 14, 2, 14, 2, and 14. That'll be the same thing we'll mimic over here. We'll have the same 2 spaces here and then 14. So it's just kind of a reflection of itself on opposite sides for that nice symmetry, but we're just using the space a little bit differently. As we're getting started this week, let's just talk about our materials. For the minimalist part of this video, we're going to keep it very simple. I have my Unipin fine liner. This is a 0.3. We'll use that for all of the hard lines when we get into it. For my pencil, we had quite the extensive review of this last week because I think it's a pretty damn cool pencil. But this is the Kuratogo Advanced from Uni, previously known as Uniball. I just think it's a very cool pencil, and I've been enjoying using it, and I have to remember this week to call it a pencil and lead versus pen and ink, which I did a few times in last week's video and caught myself. So we'll mostly be using this pencil to mark out the lines in the lead, and then we'll use a pen and the ink later as we fill out the rest of our lines. And then I do have this from Faber-Castell. This is one of those cool neon grips. This is a highlighter pencil. I like to use this for the calendar to mark the week on where we are. So we have that over here as well. You can find all of the materials in the descriptions below. I'll have everything that we have for the minimal part. And then for the twist, I'll also introduce you to a few of my goodies. A little sneak peek for the videos coming up later this week. And we'll talk about those when we get there. But first, let's go ahead and just focus on the minimal part of our page. We'll be setting up our review of the previous week, our weekly overview for this week, and then a small space for notes. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, so all the basic lines are in here. I'll actually go over them and create the boxes with the actual pen when I do. I don't know if you saw, but when I drew that first line here, I made a mistake here where I drew all the way down. This is why I always just like to say, use a pencil first whenever you're thinking out your page, especially when drawing some of those starter lines, because if that was in ink, I would have had to use my fancy little eraser here, which wouldn't have been bad, but I prefer not to if I don't have to. So erasing the pencil is really nice. And you don't have to draw out all of your lines. In this case, I'm just drawing out these verticals here, and I'll create the horizontals as I go across these. So we'll go ahead and use the self-inking stamp here. This is again from Midori. I'm a big fan of this. You don't have to do anything. You literally just put it on your page, press it down, and you have yourself an instant calendar. I think it's pretty damn cool. All right, so this is everything that we have for the minimalist part of our weekly. So what I have over here is going to be all the space for the reflection on last week. I jotted down my notes, so I'm going to add some of those in when we're actually in the twist because I want to add some extra fun stuff to kind of remember this space over here. I also am going to add some fun stamps and things over here for the days of the week. If you're being minimalist about this, you can just simply write the day of the week here in the tops of these if you want to. So minimalist is here. So if you're ready for the twist, I'm ready for the twist. I'll introduce you to some of the cool stationery that I got. We'll go ahead and fill in the rest of this for this week and have some more fun. And check out this cool little new animation I made for the twist.
How many little stamps are you going to do?
All right, we are back. So this is what this week is going to look like. Basic. Now we're going to spice it up a little bit. I have so much cool stuff that I want to show you, but I also don't want to spoil the videos later on this week. But let me show you just some of the Eric Small things that I got that we're going to use today. So I just got some of these new stamps. If you don't know who Eric Small Things is, her name is Eriko. She's a Japanese rubber stamp artist. So she actually carves all of these out of rubber stamps. I found out about her a while back from Nicole from Plants That Blossom because she knows me very well and knows that I would love this kind of stuff. I just love the way her designs look and they're so cool. So I did get some of these little stamps. So I thought that we would maybe use some of these this week. I'm still thinking about exactly what I want to use where. I also got a bunch of clear stamps. We're going to use some of these today, especially for some of the memory keeping part of this, which I'm really excited about. I have some other stamps that I'll show you. And then what was the other thing? Oh, I want to show you this. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for this. You have no idea. All right, so a while back on Cute Things from Japan, I had to get my order up and I got these cool little stickers from Kita. So what they are, they're kind of like tabs, but they're full stick on the back. So after I order all of my stuff from Cute Things from Japan, I got an email from the owner and she was like, hey, there's something special that's coming out, which is this collaboration between Kitta and Eric Small Things. And I have these. This is just one. You'll have to watch the video later this week to check out the other design that I got, but I'm very excited about it. So we're going to be using one of these, which is like the little nice day and things to do for the notes section, which I'm really excited about. So we'll be pulling this off in just a little bit. But I got so much cool stuff. I'm so excited to show you all of it. You know me, I'm a big old geek about it. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about this past week. There was a lot that happened. My wife had her first day of school. We had a lot of palms practices and field hockey and all kinds of fun stuff. And a really cool thing is that I went hiking with my team this past Friday as a part of like a team building activity. And because I just organized all of my stamps and stuff like that, I have some of these Eric Small Things Moments, a stamp kit that I got a while back, that I can use inside of here. So we have a little backpack and trees that I'm going to use for that, a little book that I thought I would use for my wife's first day of school. So just little like things that I want to start to use these more for like memory keeping and things like that. Just nice little ways to do that. I forgot to mention earlier, I also have my Uniball Signo DX. That's what we're going to be using for that. And then for my stamps this week, I'm going to be using two things. One, I have all of these colors. I don't know the brand name of these. These were just like a inexpensive kit from Joann Fabrics that I saw on my way out the other day. And I was like, oh, grab those because it was like a light gray. So I don't know the brand name, but we're using those. And then I also have my VersaFine ink that I use for my other stamps throughout this week because we have some other cool stuff we're going to be doing over here. So let's go ahead and have some fun with the stamps first. I'll go ahead and fill in just my reflection area over here, and then we'll get into the rest of this week because I got another thing from Eric Small Things that I want to show you, which are brand new, but they're like very special. I can't wait. So this is a new one from Eric Small Things that I just got. Really excited about this one. So Erico is her name. And this one here just has so many cool things in it. Just inspirational kind of themes, these cool little scenes that are all put together. And what's so cool is if you ever go to her Instagram, you'll see she carves all of this out on rubber. I've tried to make my own stamps before. She's actually who inspired me to make my own stamps. And I could never in my life ever do what she does. I just know that I couldn't. So I got these just for the fun scenes, thought I could use them inside of my journal for sure. And then as I was prepping for today, I was like, ooh, we've got one of these, which says well deserved. So it's like chocolate and an ice cream. So along with my daughter's very first game afterwards, we went and celebrated at this little old school ice cream shop. From where my wife used to live back in the day. She used to go there all the time. And we also have made a habit of doing it as a family anytime we go into that area as well. So I wanted to get that on there as a little like, remember, hey, this was something cool that we did together. And also because I wanted to use the stamp. And I need one more for my daughter's palms practice. So it was her first kind of one for the week that she's going into to prepare herself for the rest of the week. I don't know that I have any like cool pom-poms or anything like that. I was trying to see if I did. I don't have any palm stuff, but I do have this cool little heart icon. We'll use it this week. Again, I'm not going to go back and bring up one of these every week for palms, but this week was a good one for her. Here we go. I really don't love this ink. Sorry, I'm like going. It's so like smushed. It's not really capturing any of the detail of these stamps. All right, so we've got the entire previous week. A little bit of memory keeping happening here, which is super cool. So thanks for hanging out with me as we did that. Now for the rest of this week, this should hopefully go a little bit faster than that there. All right, so that's my reflection on last week. A lot of cool things that are happening. I love this like little bits of memory keeping versus maybe keeping that inside of another journal. We'll see how it continues to work out, but so far I love it. All right, so for the rest of this week, what we're going to do is I also got another stamp kit from Eric Small Things. Gotta love this. This is a cool collection called Chronicle. I think that this is a beautiful, beautiful stamp set. I love the fountain pens and all these little details that are around here. They have some Happy New Year's to and from, so if I was sending letters or things like that, would be very cool. So for this week, what I'm going to do is we're going to use this circle that's inside of here, and then I'm going to use the smaller fountain pen that's over here for each of the days of the week as we go through, and that's where we'll put the dates and the day of the week, similar to what we did last week with the circles that are inside of here. This week, we'll use this circle with a cool little fountain pen. This time around, I'm going to be using the VersaFine ink. I want to get those small details, and that other gray ink wasn't working so well for that. So we'll go ahead and open this up and sit this to the side. I really think this is a stunning stamp set. Love this idea of chronicling, using this for memory keeping, using this to send letters. I have plans. And I'm excited to add to my Eric Small Thing collections of stamps. You'll see when I do my whole stamp video on how I organized everything, just how many I have in my collection now. Okay, I'm going to use the Uniball Signo DX for my days and dates. So we'll be starting this week on the 29th, which I started right here at the top, and I got to highlight that. Actually, let me do that now before I forget, because that would have been super helpful to be like, Mark, where are you? And this is one of those fun ones where it's like a August-September week, so we can color them both in as we go in, starting in August and ending in September. So that gets us into our entire week. And then as I mentioned, I'm going to be using the little Kita thing here. So we just pull them off just like that. And we're going to peel off this sticker that's back here. It's essentially like a strip of washi tape instead of like a full roll of washi tape. And then we're just gonna add our little tag underneath it here for notes. And as you saw, as I threw my pen over here, we got some ink. So this is kind of an exciting experiment because a few weeks ago I bought this sand eraser from Tombow because someone told me that you can use it to erase ink. And so we're gonna do it right now. So let me show you how this thing works. So you find where you made your little ink mistake. We'll zoom in on it here. And then you just take it like a regular eraser and you would just erase it away. And essentially what it's doing is just erasing like a layer of your paper. And then I'll pull out one of my regular erasers I use for a pencil. And you just kind of go over it a little bit and it smooths it out. How cool is that? Now there's no more ink. All right, and that's going to be our entire week. So we reflected on last week, which I love. We have our entire week set up here, so I'll put in some of the other events and things going on for myself with work and a little bit of stuff at home. And then I've got my whole entire section over here to start with notes. I'll probably keep a handful of notes inside of these daily weeklies as well, but more than likely I'll be going into more pages of notes throughout this week just because I took up more space here, which is totally fine. Last week I was really proud of myself and I kept a hold of some daily dates as I went through here, so I'll be migrating things over a lot into here and then probably using those other pages just for general notes this week. So thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I'll put all of the links for all of the things I used today in the descriptions, at least if they have links that I can use. Most of them I'm trying to add over onto my Amazon list. If you haven't checked out that whole shop that I have over there, which is super cool, you can go to amazon.com/shop/menwhobullet, and I have a bunch of collections in there that have like pens that I use, ink, fountain pens, other things like that on there, so you can check that all out there. So yeah, thanks for hanging out with me today. Really appreciate it, and I'll talk to you very soon. Have a good one. Happy planning.